next, we will introduce our witnesses for today's hearing. Thank you so much for being here. Our first witness is retired Rear Admiral Tim Gallaudet, who retired from the U.S. Navy and is now the Chief Executive Officer at Ocean STL Consulting. Our second witness is Mr. Lou Elizondo, a former Department of Defense official and author of a recent bestseller book about UAPs.
UAP are real. Advanced technologies, not made by our government or any other government, are monitoring sensitive military installations around the globe. Furthermore, the U.S. is in possession of UAP technologies, as are some of our adversaries. I believe we are in the midst of a multi-decade secretive arms race, one funded by misallocated taxpayer dollars and hidden from our elected representatives and oversight bodies.
What I can say is that, without getting in trouble myself, that it wasn't just me. There's a lot of people in the U.S. government that have seen this video, so it is real. So in the late 1990s, there was this effort by the U.S. government. We would test our cruise missiles technology, and particularly in the Caribbean, when I was there at Puerto Rico, something black. The water begins to churn. Something black and round, as described to me, something black as a devil and the size of a small island.
Can you tell us about any of the cases that merit further analysis by your IC and science and technology partners? What is it that makes these cases anomalous? And a large number of reports are placed in the active archive because AARO does not have enough information. What might prompt you to reopen a case like that? And do you have any examples?
We do have one example that I'm aware of. We thought would be a Transmedium case, as it was reported, is well known on the outside, known as the Puerto Rico case. It was data collected in 2013 when a Customs and Border Patrol aircraft observed an object flying near an airport in Puerto Rico. The green line in this diagram is the track that the airplane was taking, and those many crossed lines are the directions that the camera was facing at the time that the airplane was flying around the airport.
But what about when these UFOs become a USO? Because we've seen it enter the water. Yeah. I was talking with Richard Dolan before, and he was discussing some cases in history where it seemed like water just kind of displaced around the craft, but the craft did not slow down. And he described it as like a field around the craft.
That sounds like the Aguadilla, Puerto Rico case. I was going to be part of that. I actually gave my opinion on it. I don't know if you know about that case, Aguadilla.
No, tell me about it.
Okay. In Puerto Rico, there was a surveillance craft took off and saw this object moving. Okay, and they were tracking it.
It was taken with infrared, and what appears to be transmedium part where it goes into the water is actually where the temperature of the water is equal to the temperature of the object, and the camera can no longer distinguish between the two. It's not that the object actually goes into the water. And so we assessed will be released, and our report will be released later this year. Multiple people observing Starlink.
The tropical island of Puerto Rico is an autonomous island belonging to the Commonwealth situated in the West Indies. It lies approximately 50 miles to the east of the Dominican Republic, 40 miles west of the Virgin Islands, and 1,000 miles southeast of the United States state of Florida. It stands as the easternmost and smallest member of the Greater Antilles, bordered by the Atlantic Ocean to the north and the Caribbean Basin to the south. Since 1898, following the conclusion of the Spanish-American War, in which the United States emerged victorious over Spain, Puerto Rico has maintained its status as a United States territory. Puerto Rico sits at the corner of what many historians have dubbed to be an anomalous ocean area called the Bermuda Triangle. Puerto Rico's history of the UFO phenomenon goes back to the days of Christopher Columbus, when he was sailing across the Atlantic in 1492. This was his second voyage to the Americas, in which Christopher discovered Puerto Rico, an island that he named San Juan Bautista. In the middle of the ocean, on October 11th at approximately 10 p.m., Columbus stated he and Pedro Gutierrez, while on the deck of the Santa Maria, observed a light glimmering at a great distance. It vanished and reappeared several times during the night, moving up and down in sudden and passing gleams. It was sighted 4 hours before land was sighted and taken by Columbus as a sign they would soon come to land. How long has the UFO phenomena been present around Puerto Rico? Puerto Rico is designated as an unincorporated territory. This denotes that the island is subject to U.S. governance while maintaining a degree of separation from the mainland of the United States. Individuals born in Puerto Rico possess American citizenship and retain the ability to move freely between the island and the U.S. mainland. I met one of these Puerto Rican natives, Andy Marcial, in New York during 2023 when I was filming for another documentary about the Transmedium phenomenon. He was responsible for releasing a number of highly controversial Department of Homeland Security UAP videos to the public, which were later confirmed by the Department of Homeland Security as truly anomalous UAPs.
Very under the radar release of some videos and documents. Now, with no explanation, all of a sudden, Customs and Border Patrol has released 10 videos from what looks like forward-looking infrared cameras.
I'm actually from that area, so I know the airport. I know the area of where the object was flying over. I've been around there, so I recognized everything when I saw it. And it was exciting to me because I'm like, I'm from there, like, holy crap, you know? But that, since I saw it, I was like, why isn't nobody talking about this? You know, like, how is this not out there?
Why
like,
am I the only person excited?
Yeah, like, I mean, you had people excited, but the people that needed to really be excited about it weren't really pushing it like that. And I didn't understand why. Like, you have all this garbage out there, CGI and everything that people post. You even see it on news channels sometimes. It's like, wait a minute, you're posting CGI. This video has already been debunked, like legitimately been debunked. Mm-hmm. But it's like they just keep using them. They keep talking about these. Yet here we are with an authentic, legitimate video showing an object going from the air into the ocean and then splitting into two parts and disappearing in two different directions underwater. I mean, how is that not all over the news? How is that not the one video everyone wants to talk about and everyone wants to focus on? Because you just can't explain that. And even with that, okay, even showing something that incredible, you still had morons out there, I'm sorry for saying it because it's the truth, who were saying it was balloons. So you mean to tell me that a balloon was tracked on radar jumping from, miles apart from each other, where they thought there was something wrong with the radar equipment. They call in the individuals that were in the air, warning them of an object, or if they saw anything.
Don't run into it.
Yeah, they see they see the light, visual confirmation of the light over the water, shuts off. They think it's a drug plane. They end up pointing the cameras and seeing the object. You understand? Tracking it all the way to the ocean, as I said, about 109 miles per hour, it enters the water without disturbing the water. And still people want to say it's balloons?
A video that has become widely controversial in recent years to demonstrate a UFO that was caught on FLIR by the CBP, Customs Border Patrol in Aguadilla, Puerto Rico, has gone viral in recent years. This object was seen duplicating before flying off in the ocean. Andy and I, becoming friends, decided to embark on a journey to find the individual responsible for leaking this video to the public. And our journey into the UFO mysteries of Puerto Rico's history began with our boots on the ground. We reached out to a longtime researcher and Puerto Rican resident, Jorge Martin, to coordinate our meeting with this anonymous member of the CBP.
Muchos vecinos de las áreas cercanas al lugar están viendo en las noches objetos no identificados tipo platillos voladores de gran tamaño entrar y salir de este lugar e incluso recoger, aparentemente por unos haces de luz que emanan de estas naves, criaturas extrañas que suben y entonces parten de nuevo y desaparecen aquí. En un sitio conocido por el barrio González, sitio que es en dirección a las minas, al área de las minas. Pues he observado varias luces, que difícil sea un avión. O un helicóptero. Un helicóptero.
La punta de la montaña esta se ve que va subiendo una luz en forma de antorcha prendida. Entonces ahí fue que me sorprendí al ver eso y se veía bastante el monte, bastante claro.
Hi, Jorge. How are you?
I'm fine.
So everything is good for tonight to meet with the informant of the 2013 Aguadilla incident?
Yes, I was calling him and he didn't answer for the moment because he told me he would be resting. He had to work 2 shifts, okay, consecutively, and but he would be available. He told me, he assured me that everything was okay?
Okay, so the time is still the same, 8 o'clock?
This source 9 said that he would be willing to talk to you about the incident with the Transmedium UFO tonight at 8 o'clock in Aguadilla Rafael Hernandez Airport, okay? We would have to call him first, so he would come out from his work there, and he would talk to us. No problem about it.
Okay, sounds good. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Jorge. Really appreciate you making this connection for us. This is huge. Day turns to night, and we're on our way to interview this Customs and Border Patrol agent who leaked the 2013 Aguadilla UAP video.
There's a shadow in the sky.
Yeah.
You see it? A big, like, ray of shadow.
After months of phone calls, planning, and discussion, we finally secured this interview thanks to Jorge Martin. Situations like this and people who work within security and defense seldom come forward.
Hello.
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 Buenas tardes, ¿cómo están?
Saludos, ahí voy para allá de camino.
Yo estoy en el parqueo aquí donde dice TSA en unos little signs, aquí, al lado del área.
Ok, pues yo paso un momento ahí. Eso es, ok. Yo paso un momento ahí. Te llamo ya cuando esté cerca.
Ok, está bien, gracias.
Ok.
Ok, bye.
You have your phone, though? Just in case this guy calls again? Let me get it.
While I fumble for my keys, the agent arrives.
Antes que comience, que realmente, ¿qué sabe? Lo que estamos tratando de... La certificación del video. Sí, eso es lo que estamos tratando. El video se graba porque hay una problemática en la área oeste de inmigrantes dominicanos y tráfico de drogas. Okay. Para ese tiempo estaba la organización de Junior Cápsula en su apogeo. Eso fue para el 2013, por ahí. Ok. Pues en esa misma semana que del video, entiendo que fue en abril algo, 20 y pico de abril, pues se cogieron unos cargamentos y unos inmigrantes. Pues se siguió siendo la justa de aduana. Nosotros pertenecíamos a un grupo que había, en ese tiempo era el escudo costero, dependía de diferentes agencias federales y estatales. Ese día el avión pues estaba haciendo reconocimiento, el avión de aduana. Cuando disponían a aterrizar, el operador de la cámara dejó la cámara prendida y ahí donde que observa con la cámara infrarroja un punto que iba transitando, volando en el aeropuerto, entrando al aeropuerto.
Sí.
And just like that, the footage you see here started being recorded because the CBP FLIR camera operator saw something flying in the airspace over Rafael Hernandez Airport. These enhancements have been added to the video so that you can understand the surroundings in which this video was recorded and how exactly this UFO is moving undetected to the eyes of both the pilots and the airport crew on the ground. Dave Falch is a professional FLIR camera repairman who gave us his analysis on why this UFO video is so credible.
In regards to the Aguadilla object, at first I thought it might be a Mylar balloon, but after looking at it, its seemingly linear travel path kind of ruled that out. Balloon's gonna drift and tumble and move around in the wind, even a strong, consistent wind, and it's not gonna move like this. This seemed to just kind of travel in one direction, and I don't see it fluctuating much in elevation. So that kind of rules that out.
Pues le dice, el operador de la cámara le dice al piloto si él veía algo. Él dice que no, se comunicaron con la torre de control. Le dijeron que no, pero el operador le dice, mira, sube el avión, porque realmente yo estoy viendo algo que está volando en la pista.
Y los pilotos nunca hablaron con nadie, nadie sabe.
El video lo vi yo dentro del avión.
Eso te lo enseñaron adentro.
Ese video es auténtico. Ese video es auténtico. Esa cámara cuando graba en 3 sitios. Es una cámara que vale demasiado dinero.
Sí.
Esa cámara, una vez que graba dentro del avión, graba en 2 sitios más, que sería las instalaciones de ellos.
Oh, ok. O sea, la grabación también llegó allá afuera.
Sí, esa cámara está diseñada que si ese avión lo describan por el narcotráfico o un accidente aéreo o cualquier otra cosa, si esa cámara se activa, graban 3 sitios a la misma vez simultáneo.
Oh, ok. Yo no
Esa es la
sabía
tecnología
eso.
de esa cámara.
Ok. So, cuando ellos ya bajaron, te llamaron a ti y...
No, a los 2 días estaban hablando de lo sucedido. Yo no le creía, porque yo no creo nada de eso. Hasta que me dijeron, mira, vente para que lo veas. Y entré dentro del avión y lo vi como tal. Cuando yo lo veo, yo me quedé impresionado porque en una se hace dentro del agua, que es en la playa de eso dice Survivor.
Eso fue para es para acá.
Para allá.
Cuando pasó, dio la vuelta entonces.
No, él viene de la pista azul.
Oh, ok.
Que sería la otra parte de la pista.
Ok.
Y él entra así, da la vuelta, hace el círculo y se mete para...
Y se fue para allá. Oh, ok.